Most cyber defenses out there today, they have a huge fatal flaw. They were designed for a totally different era, for attacks that moved at human speed. But the game has completely changed. We've entered a new phase of cyber conflict, one where it's not about what you can do, but how fast you can do it. Okay, let's get right into this. 29 minutes. I want you to burn that number into your brain. It's really not a lot of time, is it? I mean, it's just enough to grab a coffee, maybe sit through a quick meeting. But in the world of cybersecurity, it's an eternity. It's everything. And why is that number so important? Well, because 29 minutes is the brand new average breakout time for a cyber attack. That's the tiny window from the second an attacker gets their first foothold in your system to the moment they start moving around, spreading through your entire network. And some of the fastest attacks, we're talking seconds. So you got to ask yourself a really tough question. Is your defense faster? Because if attackers are making their moves in minutes, but your response takes hours, or even days, you've already lost. The fight's over before you even knew it started. This new reality is what we're calling the AI speed era. The old rulebook, it's been completely torn up. Artificial intelligence has fundamentally rewritten the rules of cyber conflict, and it's created this massive, dangerous gap between how attackers work and how we try to defend ourselves. And this right here, this is the heart of the problem. On one side, you've got us, the defenders, moving at a human pace. We're triaging alerts in hours, we're fixing things in days, and patching vulnerabilities can take weeks. But on the other side, whoa, you've got AI speed attacks. They're doing reconnaissance in seconds, they're deploying exploits in minutes. It's a total mismatch, and it creates what we call the cybersecurity speed gap. So how in the world did attackers get this fast? It's not just that they're using AI. No, they are weaponizing it. They're using it to compress time, to massively expand what they're capable of, and to scale their operations in ways that were frankly unimaginable just a few years ago. And look, this isn't some sci-fi movie plot, right? We're seeing this play out in real time. It started with things like AI-forged tokens breaching Microsoft Azure back in 2023. And just a couple of years later, we're seeing fully autonomous AI agents running entire campaigns on their own. It's gotten to the point where they can generate a working exploit for less than the price of a cup of coffee. I mean, the barrier to entry is just gone. So the first huge shift here is that AI just crushes time. An attacker can now tell an AI agent to scan, test, and hit dozens of targets all at the same time. These complex workflows that used to take entire teams of specialists days to pull off, they now happen in minutes. Number 2, AI is a massive force multiplier for their offensive capability. An operator can just describe what they want to achieve, and a language model will write the code, test it, and keep refining it until it works perfectly. This means tiny teams, or even just one person, can now build the kind of complex malware that used to require a huge state-sponsored group. And number 3, AI takes deception to a whole new level. We've all seen those clumsy phishing emails, right? Well, forget that. AI lets attackers generate thousands of super convincing, personalized emails, fake documents, and entire fake personas on an industrial scale. They're way more effective, and they're so much harder for our filters and even our trained eyes to catch. And all this incredible deception leads to the fourth big shift: exploiting trusted identities. See, once an attacker gets in, they don't drop obvious malware anymore. Instead, they operate through legitimate, compromised user accounts. They're using your own trusted systems and people against you. And this really hits the nail on the head. As Brad Mattieri, an executive vice president in this field, puts it, the challenge has totally shifted. We're not just looking for bad files anymore. We're hunting for bad behavior coming from accounts that look totally legitimate. Okay, so the problem is crystal clear. Attackers are moving at machine speed, while most defenders are still stuck in human time. So the billion-dollar question is, how do we actually fight back? How do we close this incredibly dangerous speed gap? Well, the approach boils down to making 3 huge core decisions. First, you have to move your defense to AI speed. Second, you absolutely must start treating your AI platforms like the critical infrastructure they are. And third, it's time to adopt a human-AI teaming model. So what does moving to AI speed actually mean? Well, for starters, you can't be waiting around for a manager to approve something during an attack. You have to pre-approve automated actions. So the second a credible threat pops up, the system automatically isolates a machine or revokes a user's session. And yeah, this means accepting a tough trade-off. Rapid containment is now way more important than perfect 100% certainty. Okay, next up, and this is crucial. We have to lock down the AI platforms themselves. These systems are becoming the central nervous system of businesses. All our data, identities, and workflows are concentrated there. That makes them a massive target. This means you need to set up tough security rules for them, and then watch them like a hawk for any sign of misuse. And the last piece of the puzzle? Our roles, the human roles, have got to evolve. In a human-AI teaming model, you let the AI agents handle all the high-volume, repetitive stuff, like that initial alert triage and containment. This frees up your human experts to focus on what they do best, the really complex investigations, hunting for advanced threats, and basically supervising the whole operation. We go from being the ones pushing the buttons to being the conductors of the orchestra. So when you step back and look at the big picture, the takeaway is kinda chilling, actually. Cybersecurity is now a flat-out race against time. At the end of the day, it really boils down to this one simple truth. Speed determines security outcomes. The side that can operate faster, the one that can make a decision and act on it in minutes, not hours, is the side that's going to win. And right now, the attackers have the edge. And that leaves you, with one final, very urgent question. Attackers are already operating at AI speed. They've made their choice. The only question left is for the defenders. Are you going to meet them there?